you're not gonna sit there and tell me you dry cereal. No, I'm not saying soggy. I'm saying, obviously cereal first, pour the milk in. I'm not saying soggy. It's got to retain crunch. I mean, I'm with you there. You have a situation where there's a bowl of dry cereal and you're gonna like just have like milk on the sides, dip. That's not right, man. Hello, Steve Weiner from GetRubix.com, and today we're going to be continuing our backup script for our Intune tenant-to-tenant migration, where we are specifically migrating user data to a new machine. So let's keep going. It's got to be moist. Okay, I am going to open up Visual Studio Code. Quick recap. Right, so again, this is our backup script that's going to capture everything with the current device before the new device comes. We get all the information, so we make our local path. That's where we're going to keep our detection rule in our log file where we started the transcript. Because we're doing this kind of ad hoc, right, device to device, we need to make sure we can do that over the network. So we're checking for our ICMP firewall rules. If they are not there, we're making them. If they're there and not enabled, we're enabling. And if they're there but not set to allow, we're setting that too. We're checking for WinRM, enabling if that's not there. And now we start to get our device information, host name, OS version, serial number, basic stuff. And this is where we start getting the disk information, which paths we want to migrate to the new machine. We construct them as XML lines here because we're going to place them in XML later. And then this part was pretty important where we created the network share, right? So we basically take the root user directory folder, and we turn that into a share. So I'm creating a specific share account that's going to be injected onto the device. Name, password, we're adding that in there. We're creating the share from the user directory, the new SMB share, and we are permissioning the new reader account we made to have that full control over to copy that over. And obviously that can be modified as long as you have access to read it, but in my case, I'm doing full control. And because this is being delivered from Intune, this script won't be visible by a non-admin user on a PC. Okay, in our next step, what we have to do is we have to now construct the XML. So let's start down here. So we are going to, that's step 6. We want to do step 5. Okay, so to construct the XML, we are going to call our XML string variable. So basically we're going to put everything in here. We start with a root config brackets for the XML because everything else is going to be inside there. That's our config. Now as we go through here, let's just take a look at everything we're capturing, right? So we need to make spaces for basically all of our device info, right? So the host name, the serial, the OS, everything we just kind of talked about. We need a section for the disk space. We need a section for the locations that we're going to be migrating. And then we need the share information, right? The drive share information, the user, the name of the share, the password. So it's all going to be pretty important. So let's start by doing host name is going to be host name. We're just going to plug these in here. For the most part, we shouldn't have a problem constructing this. There's some formatting with new lines. Serial number. Very similar to what we've done before in the previous when we did the full tenant migration script. Serial number. Great. OS version we can do. My variables aren't coming up here. That's bothering me because I don't remember what they all are. Let's go back up here. OS version, host name, serial number. Oh, I did caps. I mean, it shouldn't matter, but I like when they pop up. Cool. You could add things like specs to the PC if you want. I'm going to skip that here. But we're gonna create a section for the share. And this is going to be its own section. So inside the share brackets, we're going to do share name, and that is going to be the share name, okay, which we named migrate of our SMB share. We're going to do our share user. That should be share user. And we are also going to do the share password. Share password. Just make sure we're closing all these, right? Okay, that takes care of that. Next would be the disk info. We could just call that disk. I'm going to do total storage is total disk size gigabytes, I think. Let me go back up here. What do they call that? Total disk size. Oh, okay, total disk size. Got it. I called it total disk size for total storage. It probably would make more sense to line these up. Free storage is going to be free disk space. Free storage. You can name these the same. Okay, now we get into, that's the end of disk. So now we get into locations. This is for the backup. Now for locations, we're actually going to, this one's a little different. So we're actually going to place it here because we have the new line. So I'm going to add the whole variable for this, and the reason being XML locations. So what will actually happen here, and I'll show you the output in a little bit. XML locations, when we constructed it, we basically did this. We created the blocks already. So XML locations already is a whole array of location, whatever the name is, location new line. So if you can imagine, we're starting that on a new line and knowing that it'll create a new line at the very end. So that's why this specifically looks like that, right? Cool. So that takes care of that, and then we have to put that somewhere, clearly. So let's go ahead and do that. We are going to do, so we're gonna say XML file equals, we're gonna put that in our local path. And we are going to name it hostname dash username, or I think in this case it's just user .xml. So our username is under, yep, right there, user. Okay. So the name of that XML file is going to be, it's going to be in our local path, hostname dash username dash XML. And what we're going to do is we're going to say the XML string. We're going to outfile that to file path. And that'll be our XML file. And there we go. And we can write host, XML file created at, perfect. All right, next thing we have to do is we have to connect to our Azure storage and upload the that XML as a blob. So we are going to go ahead and talk about what we have to do there. So we have to install the Az.Storage module. Az.Storage module. We have to connect to Az.Storage blob. Okay, and we have to upload the XML. So those are kind of our three pieces here. So the first thing for installing Azure Storage is we got to do a few things first. So we got to make sure NuGet is involved. That's our package provider. If NuGet's not there, we have to do it. So we're gonna write hosts Here, let's actually put the variable first. NuGet equals get package provider name NuGet. So we'll write hosts, checking for NuGet package provider. So we'll say basically if it's not there, if not NuGet, we're gonna try to install it. So we're gonna do a try catch here. We're gonna basically say install package provider, install package provider name NuGet firm false, and we're gonna go ahead and force, and then we'll write that host, write host. Actually, right here we could say write hosts. No, leave me alone. There we go. Write host. NuGet not found. Install NuGet. And then here we can say NuGet installs. And then we can catch the error if that doesn't work. So what we'll do is message will equal the message that comes back, and we will write hosts error installing NuGet, and we'll just pipe out that message. Okay. Now, if it's already there, we'll just give that an else. Write host NuGet is already installed. Very nice. I just like to bring these down for keep it concise. Makes things a little easier. Okay. Excellent. Okay. So next thing we have to do is do the module. So now we have to actually check for the Az.Storage module. So we're going to do the exact same thing pretty much. Az.Storage equals get installed module, and the name would be Az.Storage. So again, exact same thing. If it's not there, we're going to do an if. We're going to do an if else. Actually, let me frame that now. And here we will do a try catch. Okay. So if it's not there, we're going to write host Az.Storage module not found. Installing. Okay, and then we'll just say install module. Name Az.Storage force, and we'll import it as well. Import module name Az. I don't think we need name for that. Doesn't matter. Storage. Run host. Az.Storage. Storage module. Gotta be able to spell. Installed. Great. Same thing, if there's an error, we're going to catch the error and pipe it out. Host error installing Az.Storage module. Great. Okay. Else, we're just going to say write hosts Az.Storage module already installed, and then we can just import it just to make sure. Okay, that takes care of that. So let's put a little break there. I think we earned a little break. Okay, the next part is to connect to the blob storage. So what do we need to connect to it? So I'm going to run you through the pieces, and then in upcoming video, we're actually going to create it, so we're all kind of familiar with it. Because I've touched on it, but I think it deserves some, attention. So we need the storage account name, which we'll cover. It's basically from your blob storage. It has a name. Storage account key. This is the credential to get in. It's a GUID. Storage account key. And then we need the container. So we're just going to call our container migration. We can change that later. There's a future version where we actually dynamically name the container. We'll get to that later. So let's do, then we need context. Context basically is the connection. So new Az.Storage, new Az.Storage context. So storage, is this actually, let me see on this machine if it's terminal, new terminal. Let me actually see here. So install module, Az.Storage, confirm, false, of course. Whoa. Oh, that's not his admin rights. Yeah, that's a pain. Install module, Az.Storage. Whoops. Grab that real quick, just so we can get the commands in. Should be able to import it here. Import module Az.Storage. Even as a non-admin, should be able to pull that in. Yep, cool. All right, let's get rid of that. So now let's go back just so we can get these assistants. So new Az.Storage context. We're going to be looking for the storage account name, storage account name, storage account key, storage account key. That's all we need there. And then we are going to write hosts connected to blob storage account, and then we'll put the storage account name. Great. All right, and finally down here, we're going to post our blob, which is, it just sounds super funny. I love that it's actually called a blob. So what do we have to do? We have to say blob name is equal to the host name, plus we want to add a dash. Okay, this is what I want the name to look like, right? If it was this machine, right, I want it to be the name of the machine, Steve, or initials, right? SW1234, the username, Steve Weiner, dot XML, right? That's got to be the I want that to be the end name of the file. So the way I'm crafting that here is host name, got to add the hyphen plus user, right? Plus XML, and that'll concatenate it. Is user not here? Oh, there's no plus after that. Okay. Yeah, you get all the concatenations have to be there. Okay, so now all we have to do is set the Az.Storage blob content. We have to give it the file. So this is going to be the file path we're pulling from, and we already made that before. That's our XML file. The container is the container. The blob that we're calling it is going to be blob name. And the context is going to be context and force. And then all we have to do is write host, uploaded, XML file, blob name to blob storage. Okay, and real quick, I'm going to open our Storage Explorer. And this thing always wants to update. Just to show you real quick what this will look like, right? So this will look like, so here's all my files. So as I'm doing this, you can see I have name of the machine dash username. That was Jesse, that's mine, .xml. So this is how they aggregate here. And then when I pull them down, we're gonna switch machines for a second. Let me go ahead and open a console. When I pull them back down and I import the file, I can start pulling the config out. So XML config is equal to XML file dot config. And let's look at that. See, that's all the information coming out, and I can drill down on those too. So I can say, so applications equal XML config dot applications dot application. So if I now call applications, those are all the applications I have in that list. So this is a really great way we're going to retrieve the information later on. All right, so that's going to conclude our backup script, right? Getting all that information, posting it to Blob. Next time, what we're going to do is we're going to start working on our restore script for the new PC. Might take a detour and talk about setting up blob storage. I'm either going to do that before or after, and it's because I just have not decided yet. Later.